Nick Sirianni is the exact definition of do not judge a book by its cover. It was exactly 2 years ago today where he was mocked endlessly on January 29th of 2021 when he had all his stutters and different things that people were making fun of during his press conference.
Next thing that's very important to me is that we build a smart football team, that we have a smart football team here. And I know we have the people in place to do that. The first part of being smart is knowing what to do. We're gonna have systems in place that are easier to learn. All right, complicated to the defense or offense that they're going against or the special teams group they're going against, but easy for us to learn. Because when we can when we can learn our system and we can get good at our system.
He was mocked. He's stuttering. How's this guy going to be a head coach? Where's his experience? All these different things. Exactly 2 years ago today, January 29th. So how sweet is it for a guy like him? January 29th, 2023, exactly 2 years later, he's going to the Super Bowl. He's taking the Philadelphia Eagles to the Super Bowl. And there's more to it. It's not just the fact that he's taking them to the Super Bowl, but it's the whole story. The guy was mocked 2 years ago for not having enough experience. He built this team with a quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who was one of the best college football quarterbacks I've seen in a long time, but he had to transfer schools from Alabama to Oklahoma because he lost his job during a national championship game to Tua. He then goes to Oklahoma and becomes a Heisman candidate again. But somehow this guy drops in the draft and becomes a second rounder, almost a third rounder, because nobody wants him. And that's the guy that's going to the Super Bowl with Nick Sirianni. So this whole story is just amazing for the Eagles. They're always the underdog story. Think about what's happened to them the last couple years. After they won the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback and Nick Foles when Carson Wentz went down, they've even fired their coach, Doug Peterson, who won the Super Bowl with them just a few years later. And it was kind of a weird move. I personally thought, what are they doing? How are you firing a coach that just won a Super Bowl with a backup quarterback? Not the quarterback you paid $120 million, but a backup. And Nick Foles is who you won a Super Bowl with. And you're going to fire that guy? Then all of a sudden, you're a couple years removed from that. You have this guy, Nick Sirianni, who's getting mocked at his press conferences, and he's getting made fun of for not having enough experience in the way he talks. And he takes a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, who is amazing now. Like, I'm not saying that in a negative way about Jalen Hurts, but no one believed in Jalen Hurts either. And he dropped in the draft, and he lost his job in college before. He's taking Jalen Hurts to the Super Bowl. And they beat the 49ers today. And of course, you're going to say maybe in the comments if this comes around some 49er fans, Brock Purdy got hurt for the Niners. Josh Johnson came in. He got hurt. And now we're talking about Brock Purdy threw the ball, I think 3-4 times total the entire game because he couldn't throw the ball. I get it. It was an easier path. Daniel Jones and some backup quarterbacks. But they were the number one seed for a reason. This is why you're the number one seed. To have home field advantage, to have an easier matchup in the second round, have that bye week in the first round. This team just did it right, and it's because of the system, right? I mean, they have a good owner, a good coach, a good quarterback, and they built this really awesome team with some awesome offseason acquisitions. You make trades for guys like A.J. Brown, who makes Jalen Hurts that much better of a quarterback. You also acquire guys like Hassan Reddick and make this team a legitimate team that's going to win a Super Bowl, and that's kind of what they're doing. Hassan Reddick has 20 sacks, 20.5 technically, for them on the season. So not only do you have this coach that was getting made fun of, you have a quarterback that's been an underdog, even though he's been really good. For some reason, nobody ever believed in him. I mean, like, this guy dropped in the draft after being a leader for not only Alabama, the Crimson Tide, but also for the Oklahoma Sooners, and some people didn't believe in him somehow, but the Eagles did, and this coach who got mocked did. And then in the offseason, you get the A.J. Brown trade. You sign Hassan Reddick for 3 years, and you start building this powerhouse team. I mean, we all know that they already had some great pieces, of course. The offensive line makes a big difference. Having guys like Kelsey and guys like Lane Johnson and all their pieces is obviously amazing too. But I'm just here to say, don't judge a book by its cover. Now, the next game's about to start. We have the Bengals and the Chiefs, so I don't know who they're going to be matching up with in the Super Bowl quite yet. I'm literally reacting to this live after the Eagles game, so you'll notice it's a little less edited, but I'm trying to get this type of content out to you guys. And I'm trying to talk to you guys more like this. I'm a sports creator who wants to, be part of a community and build a community. So I'm going to talk to you guys like I'm literally talking to you guys now. I'm just here to make content, talk sports, and hopefully put a smile on your face or help you enjoy some sports content. So please like and subscribe so we can build this community. But I think the Eagles have a great matchup in whoever they go against in the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not saying I'm predicting them to win. You know, I might have a different idea if it's the Bengals or the Chiefs. I don't know. I'm predicting the Bengals win, but I can't make any Super Bowl claims yet. I'll do that later on my channel. All I can say is what the Eagles have done was amazing. I was not a believer the entire season. You can probably go back on my channel and see some videos where I said they are pretenders, not contenders, when I was doing my playoff contender-pretender video. Yes, I said it. I said the Eagles, their first run, they're not real contenders. I said people like the Bengals and Chiefs who have been to Super Bowls are the real contenders because that's how these Super Bowl runs usually work. Well, I was wrong. The Eagles are making this work, and they have a great chance of winning the Super Bowl, and they didn't have to go through an extremely crazy game this week. They had the bye week a couple weeks ago. They had an easy game against the Giants, now an easy win against the 49ers. And when I say easy, I just mean score-wise. We're not playing overtime. We're not playing any extra minutes here. And they're headed to the Super Bowl pretty clean. No crazy injuries were happening. And it might be time for the Eagles to win another Super Bowl here pretty quickly after their last one. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to praise Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts on what they've done because, like I said, you can't judge a book by its cover. So many guys get undervalued, underappreciated, and look what happens. A 2-year difference. What does a 2-year difference do? You get mocked at a press conference, then you make a Super Bowl. That's what a real winning situation looks like. So I'm proud of Nick Sirianni and the Eagles. I'm a Seahawks fan, so I also really love that you guys beat the 49ers for us. But I appreciate it, Philly, and we'll be back soon. Peace, y'all.